The Haunted Mansion. Ravenswood, a quiet town nestled in the embrace of rolling hills and dense forests, had always been known for its enchanting presence. But within this tranquil abode lay a dark secret that had haunted the town for generations, a sprawling mansion, shrouded in eerie legends and whispered tales of horror. The mansion, a looming and imposing structure, stood as a testament to a bygone era. Its architecture was a curious mix of Gothic grandeur and decay, its once vibrant red bricks now weathered and cracked. It was a mansion that time seemed to have forgotten, an ominous presence casting a long shadow over Ravenswood. For as long as the townsfolk could remember, the mansion had been abandoned and left to the ravages of time. No one dared venture near it, for it was said to be haunted by the restless spirits of the Ravenswood family, the mansion's original owners. The Ravenswoods had been an enigmatic and reclusive clan, known for their eccentricities and their obsession with the occult. The mansion had been their home for centuries, a place where dark rituals and forbidden experiments had taken place under the cloak of night. The legends that surrounded the mansion told of eerie, disembodied voices that echoed through its empty halls, of ghostly apparitions that wandered the grounds, and of an ancient curse that had plagued the Ravenswoods and anyone unfortunate enough to cross their path. But the mansion's most chilling legend was that of an evil sorcerer, a malevolent force said to be at the heart of the family's dark deeds. This figure was rumored to have harnessed supernatural powers, using them to manipulate the very fabric of reality and torment the town. Despite the pervasive fear and superstition that surrounded the mansion, a small group of intrepid souls, led by Erin, a brave and daring adventurer, had decided to unravel the mysteries that shrouded Ravenswood's most infamous landmark. Erin was joined by his closest friends, Daphne, the ever-curious skeptic who had always questioned the tales of the supernatural, Mike, the fearless daredevil who relished the thrill of the unknown, and Jane, the self-proclaimed psychic, who believed that her unique gifts could unlock the secrets of the mansion. With flashlights in hand and hearts filled with both trepidation and excitement, they stood before the mansion's imposing gates, their breath visible in the chill of the night. The moon cast an eerie glow over the mansion, and the wind whispered through the twisted branches of the surrounding forest, setting an ominous tone for their journey into the unknown. As they pushed open the creaking gates and ventured closer to the mansion's foreboding entrance, a sense of impending doom hung heavy in the air. The suspense was palpable, and they couldn't help but wonder if they were about to uncover the truth behind the legends, or if they would become the next victims of the mansion's curse. The group of intrepid explorers, Erin, Daphne, Mike, and Jane, stood on the threshold of Ravenswood Mansion, their flashlights casting long eerie shadows that danced upon the mansion's cracked facade. As they crossed the imposing threshold, the weight of centuries of secrets put down upon them, filling the air with an oppressive sense of foreboding. Inside, the mansion's interior was a labyrinthine maze of decaying grandeur. Dusty chandeliers dangled precariously from the ceilings, their crystals long tarnished. Faded tapestries lined the walls, while cobwebs stretched across doorways like ghostly veils. The group's footsteps echoed through the echoing corridors, each step a reminder that they were now within the heart of the haunted mansion. The legends that had surrounded this place for generations whispered through the air, cautioning them to turn back. But they pressed on, their determination fueled by a burning desire to uncover the truth. Their investigation led them deeper into the mansion's dark recesses. Hidden doorways and concealed passages revealed themselves, and they followed a trail of cryptic symbols that hinted at the mansion's occult history. As they ventured further, they discovered a hidden chamber, concealed behind a sliding bookshelf, its secrets waiting to be unraveled. Inside the chamber, the atmosphere grew even more suffocating, as if the very walls were closing in on them. Candles flickered, casting shadows upon the walls adorned with strange symbols. At the center of the room lay a dusty tome, its pages filled with incantations and rituals. It was in this chamber that they uncovered the first hints of the malevolent forces that had plagued Ravenswood for centuries. The writing spoke of the Ravenswood family's obsession with the occult, their experiments with dark magic, and their unholy alliance with supernatural entities. Daphne, the skeptic-turned-investigator, couldn't help but feel a chill run down her spine as she scanned the pages. She realized that there was more to the legends than mere superstition. There was a chilling truth hidden within the mansion's walls. Their journey had only just begun, and the suspense grew with each revelation. The group exchanged anxious glances, knowing that they had stumbled upon a twisted history of evil that extended far beyond what they could have imagined. As they prepared to leave the hidden chamber and confront the figures lurking within the mansion, a sudden, uncanny whisper seemed to emanate from the very walls. "The mansion has claimed so many souls, and it thirsts for more." The disembodied voice sent shivers down their spines, and they exchanged anxious glances. It was clear that the mansion was not ready to relinquish its secrets without a fight. With their flashlights in hand and newfound resolve, they ventured deeper into the labyrinthine mansion. The corridor twisted and turned, leading them to a grand, ornate staircase that spiraled upwards, the oppressive atmosphere growing heavier with each step. The staircase eventually deposited them into a darkened hallway, at the end of which stood an imposing double door adorned with intricate carvings and strange symbols. The group hesitated, knowing that whatever lay behind those doors held the key to unraveling the mysteries of Ravenswood Mansion. Daphne was the first to step forward. With a trembling hand, she pushed open the doors, revealing a chamber unlike any they had encountered before. The room was bathed in a ghostly, otherworldly light, casting long, menacing shadows on the walls. In the center of the room, they beheld a grotesque altar adorned with candles and a sinister, ancient tome. Before the altar knelt a hooded figure, their face obscured by darkness. It was the evil sorcerer, the orchestrator of the mansion's horrors, who had been manipulating the supernatural forces to their own advantage. With a haunting laugh, the hooded figure turned to face them, revealing eyes that burned with an unholy fire. "You should not have come," they hissed, their voice echoing through the chamber. The group stood their ground, their determination unwavering. They had uncovered the truth, and had no choice but to confront the evil that had plagued Ravenswood for centuries. The suspense reached its zenith as they prepared to engage in a deadly battle for their lives. Little did they know that the true horrors of Ravenswood Mansion were about to be revealed, and the ultimate showdown with the sorcerer would test their courage as Sisyphals, and bonds of friendship in ways they could never have imagined. The fate of their town hung on a thread as they braced themselves for a terrifying climax. The group braved themselves as the eerie chamber of Ravenswood Mansion seemed to pulse with a sinister energy as the unsettling eyes of the figure bore into them. With their hearts pounding and their determination unwavering, the group demanded answers. They wanted to know the true nature of the heinous forces that had plagued their town for generations, the purpose behind the dark rituals, and the identity of the one responsible for it all. The sorcerer's voice, dripping with malice, reverberated through the chamber as they revealed the horrifying truth. Ravenswood was but a pawn in a larger game, they hissed. The Ravenswoods were merely servants to the ancient darkness that resides in the heart of this land, and I am its willing vessel. With that chilling proclamation, the sorcerer raised its arms, and the very room seemed to come alive. Shadows danced on the walls, and the candles flickered wildly as an unseen force gathered around them. But they were not alone in this dire confrontation. The townsfolk of Ravenswood, those who had long suffered under the malevolent force's influence, had gathered outside the mansion, drawn by the eerie light that emanated from within. They had heard the group's call for help and had come to stand by their side. Receiving help from their newfound allies, the group confronted the sorcerers with rediscovered strength, their combined determination pushing back against the supernatural force that threatened to engulf them. A battle between the sorcerers and the indomitable spirit of those who sought to bring an end to the town's torment. As the suspenseful battle raged on, the group realized that the sorcerer was merely a puppet, a vessel for a much darker, ancient evil that had lain dormant beneath Ravenswood for centuries. They understood that the true battle was not just against an individual, but against an unfathomable force of darkness. With a surge of determination, the shone relics from the ancient tome they had found earlier, hoping to counter the malevolent forces with the power of their own. The room trembled as the opposing energies clashed, casting blinding flashes of light and deafening thunder. They could feel the weight of the town's history resting on their shoulders. In a blinding burst of energy, the sorcerer was vanquished, their dark form dissolving into nothingness. The room fell silent, the malevolent force that had haunted the mansion for centuries finally banished. The suspenseful journey had taken an unexpected turn, and they realized that their mission to save their town was far from complete. As they looked around at the gathered townsfolk, their resolve remained unbroken. They were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, to confront the darkness within their town, and to ensure that the unearthly forces were banished once and for all. The group prepared to embark on the next phase of their journey, knowing that the true battle against the ancient evil was yet to come. The mysteries of Ravenswood were unraveling, but the darkest revelations were still hidden in the shadows, waiting to be unveiled. With the sorcerer vanquished and the immediate threat dispelled, the four friends, along with the townsfolk of Ravenswood, stood in the chamber of the haunted mansion, their breaths heavy with the tension of their recent battle. The room bore the scars of their clash, its walls marred by flickering candlelight and etched with the remnants of supernatural energy. Though they had achieved a significant victory, the group knew that their mission was far from over. The ancient evil that had lurked beneath Ravenswood still loomed, waiting for an opportunity to rise once more. The suspenseful journey had taken a dark turn, and they were prepared to confront the true evil that had plagued their town for centuries. As they regrouped and planned their next steps, Daphne felt a sense of unease settle over her. She couldn't help but wonder if they had truly seen the last of the sorcerer, or if the ancient evil had merely been pushed into the shadows, biding its time. Mike shared his concerns. He knew that their battle against darkness was far from over. The suspenseful tension hung heavy in the air as they discussed their options. Jane began to sense an unsettling presence, a lingering dread that seemed to seep through the very walls of the mansion. She could feel the ancient evil's presence, like a dormant beast waiting to awaken. The group decided to delve deeper into the mansion, seeking clues and artifacts that might reveal the true nature of the ancient evil. They explored hidden passages and secret chambers, uncovering a trail of cryptic symbols and ancient relics that hinted at a much larger, sinister plan. Their investigation led them to a series of enigmatic writings that told of the town's history, its connection to the land, and the role the Ravenswood family had played in summoning and binding the ancient evil. It was a suspenseful revelation that sent shockwaves through the group, and they realized that they were dealing with forces far beyond their comprehension. As they dived deeper into their research, they began to form a plan to confront the ancient evil head-on. They sought out allies among those who had witnessed the sorcerer's powers and were willing to join the fight against the darkness. With their allies gathered and their determination unwavering, the group ventured deep into the heart of the forest, following the trail that would lead them to the ancient evil that had plagued Ravenswood for centuries. The atmosphere hung heavy in the air as they pressed forward, their flashlights cutting through the darkness like beacons of hope. As they journeyed deeper into the forest, the very nature of the world around them seemed to change. The trees grew twisted and gnarled, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Unearthly sounds filled the air, a cacophony of whispers and eerie laughter that sent shivers down their spines. The group knew that they were drawing closer to their destination, and with each step, the suspense grew. They could feel presence of the ancient evil looming, a force that had lain dormant beneath Ravenswood for so long, waiting for its moment to rise. At last, they reached a clearing in the forest, where a gnarled, ancient tree stood tall and foreboding. Its roots seemed to reach down into the very heart of the earth, and its branches stretched up toward the heavens. It was here that the group believed the ancient evil was imprisoned. With a sense of trepidation, they gathered around the tree, their flashlights casting eerie shadows upon its bark. They could feel the malevolent force emanating from within, a presence that sought to ensnare their minds and break their resolve. Jane, with her growing psychic abilities, began to sense the ancient evil's consciousness. A gut-churning presence aged and all-encompassing whispered into their minds, attempting to sow doubt and fear, but the group held fast. As the tension reached its summit, the ancient evil's power surged, and the tree seemed to come to life. Its roots emerged from the ground, forming grotesque, grasping limbs that reached out toward the group. Vines snaked through the air, their touch sending waves of paralyzing cold through their bodies. The battle against the ancient evil had begun in earnest. The group called upon their combined strength and the support of their allies, forming a protective barrier to ward off the occultic powers. They chanted incantations from the ancient tome they had uncovered, attempting to counter the ancient evil's dark magic with their own. A furious struggle ensued, a clash of supernatural forces and indomitable wills. The very ground beneath them trembled, and the forest seemed to come alive, its twisted trees and flora adding to the otherworldly spectacle. The malevolent force fought back with all its might, sending waves of darkness crashing against the group's protective barrier. But they held their ground, their determination fueled by their shared commitment to protect Ravenswood and banish the ancient evil once and for all. With a final surge of energy and a chorus of incantations, the group unleashed a burst of blinding light that engulfed the ancient tree and the haunting force within as light and darkness clashed in a cataclysmic explosion of energy. When the blinding light finally subsided, the ancient tree lay shattered and lifeless, its occupant banished forever. The very air felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. As the group stood among the remnants of their battle, they knew that they had achieved a hard-fought victory. The ancient evil that had plagued Ravenswood for centuries had been vanquished, and the town was finally free from its influence. Their journey had tested their courage and determination like never before, but they had emerged victorious. The mysteries of Ravenswood had been unraveled. With their bonds of friendship stronger than ever, the group looked toward the horizon, ready to face whatever adventures and challenges lay ahead. The battle against the ancient evil was a testament to the power of unity, courage, and the unwavering commitment to confront the darkest corners of the world. As they left the forest behind, they knew that the mysteries of the universe were vast and unfathomable. But armed with the lessons they had learned and the strength they had gained, they were ready to face whatever the future held together.